what I worked through was initially, it was improving myself, and that's great with swimming. You know, you swim the 2 lengths, and are you faster? How many strokes do you swim? And eventually I looked up, and it was then about beating people. But I had this extraordinary experience when I was 19 years old, and I came up to breathe, actually just nearly 19, came up to breathe, and I heard my name on the intercom. And I was ahead, and I never swum for Britain, you know, I was ahead of these 2 world record holders.
Wow. So you knew you were winning?
Yeah, and I suddenly went, who, me? I'm just from West Sussex, you know. And then I asked, why me? You know, how many billion people on the planet? Why me? And they're difficult questions to answer, actually.
And the rest is Olympic history.
Absolutely.
You are an inspiration. It's really lovely to meet you.
Oh, lovely to meet you.
You are a gentleman.
Remember, I owe you a swimming lesson.
Yes, you do. I'd love to. I'd get all because I'm very self-conscious
organise
about
it,
your bikini, but I would.
Anybody else? Any other takers?
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. I nearly said I'd get my kit off for you, and I meant it in the most...
Come on, well, I'm waiting.
Not right now. OK, don't go anywhere, because after the break, 2 of Denise's favourite subjects, growing old and sex. Don't go Welcome back to your midweek edition of Loose Women, where joining me, Fiona Phillips, are the ever-opinionated Sherrie Hewson, Denise Welch and McDonald. Later on, there ain't nothing like a dame, and if your career's as distinguished as hers, no one's going to argue with the incredible Rigg. She looks lovely. She looks great, doesn't she? First, though, couples who want a baby should put their energy into recreating the wild and uninhibited sex of their early days together. Apparently, their very early days together. Scientists have discovered that the better the quality of lovemaking, the greater the chance of conception. I don't know why. I'm looking at Denise.
Why? Why? It said I've had a hangover and that I like to talk about sex. What rubbish! Clearly could have said me.
But actually, are they 2 different things, in fact? Having sex or making love and making babies? Are they?
Well, I never had sex to make babies, really. Do you know what I mean? I don't think they have to go hand in hand, do you? Well, you don't.
No. I'd rather have a cup of tea.
I had Matthew, just had him, and then I wasn't going to, well, you know what I mean. Didn't plan it. It happened sort of early on in the relationship, and that was fine. But then I wasn't very well after, so we weren't going to have any more. And then, age about 97, I decided to take Tim to Amsterdam for a sort of sexy weekend, because he hadn't been there before. So I...
Be careful now.
So I promised that I would take him to see one of the shows that you go to see in Amsterdam, if you're there, you know.
Lovely flower show.
Yeah, lovely flower show. I promised him I'd go and see a show. Anyway, I got poorly that day with some kind of stomach bug, so we couldn't go. So we went back to the hotel, so he'd been dead excited about going to see this flower show, and I couldn't take him to it. So at about 3 in the morning, I woke up, and because he was a bit disappointed that he hadn't gone to the flower show, he'd been availing himself of several channels on the television, you know. And I felt so guilty, I just sort of went, on you go, then that was Lewin. Tim once said to me, he said, don't you dare tell that story on Richard and Judy, but he never said Loose Women.
I have to say, you know, the thing is, with washing and cleaning and ironing things, and fitting that in, but the thing is, I couldn't have any children. It took me 8 years to have Keely, which is a long time.
In labour, that's a long time.
It's a long time. And the thing is, you see, because I didn't think, oh, well, I didn't get really desperate. I didn't think, oh, I've got to, you know, do something about it. I thought, well, if I can't, I can't. End of story. 8 years later, then, well, what happened was we went to this pub called the Seven Bells in this little village, and then suddenly I got this little kind of thing in my tummy, and it was a baby. Oh. That's how magical it was.
Did your husband have anything to do with it?
Someone gave you a drink at the Seven Bells. What was it?
Whoever it was, thank you, whoever it was at the Seven Bells. wonderful. You must meet her. No, but so it didn't. So I didn't do anything, you know, like having sex to have babies. That was never a thing, really, because I just did that bit, and then this magical child arrived. Oh, Sherrie's world.
And now you've got a little grandson as well.
And I've got a grandson as well.
But I think that with some friends of mine, I'm sure we've all got friends who tragically aren't able to have children, and they go down the IVF route. And I think that for those people, when timing is so important, they do say that sex becomes like sort of, you know, laboratory conditions, and that would be horrendous.
But also, it's a very traumatic process anyway, isn't it? And then how can it possibly be sexy?
And also the nerves and the tension, it must be just kind of, the worry must stop you.
I mean, I was very, very lucky, like you, Denise. I wasn't really trying, and I didn't really want children.
Did you?
No, I always said to my mum, "Oh, I'm not going to have," because she used to say, "Well, grandchildren." And I said, "I don't want grandchildren. I don't want to get married." Then I got married, had my first little boy, and even I remember the week before he was due, I still thought, "Oh, do I really want children?" And I was hoping that Martin would be reassuring. And I said to him, "I don't really want children, I don't think." And I thought he'd say no, of course. And he went, "No, nor do I." And that was weird. But anyway, as soon as he was born, I absolutely fell in love with him. Yeah. And I've got another one.
You know, it's weird, isn't it? Because we spend half our lives preventing pregnancy and praying that we're not going to get pregnant, don't we? And then we spend the other half trying like mad to get pregnant. You can never sort of weigh it up. But it must be terrible to want something so badly and to be sort of stressed by it. And my heart goes out to people like that, because I've never really been that maternal. I'd rather really have a cup of tea.
You have your cup of tea.
Pre-ed.
Yeah, all right, yeah.
Yeah, but
I don't like it now and again.
Not
all the time.
But she always feels like a brute. You sup that, and I'll do the competition.
Go on, then.
Because then Hollywood actress Hope Davis, star of movies such as Flatliners and About Schmidt, turns 45 today. What a cheek! Our producer said she was an older generation actress.
I thought she was like from Lana Turner.
So did I when he said that. She's only 45.
Calm down.
It's a young child.
Anyway, she has revealed that growing older is a blessing for her. Thank goodness. She says the things that felt like they were holding me back at 25, like the fact that I didn't look like the trophy-type girlfriend, in a way, it's working for me now. No one expects me to look a certain way or be a certain type of woman. Now, it kind of frees me. So, Jane, I mean, your career is better than it ever was, isn't it?
Yeah, and actually, my career shouldn't be. You know, being in the industry that we are, usually you're not a success.
And you're an older generation.
Yes, I'm an older generation.
That's because you're an all-rounder, Jane.
I am an all-rounder.
Turn.
Yeah, and you know, it's amazing, really. I think. Well, going back to the last subject as well, I've got to 45 myself, and now I'm free because I'm not expected to have kids. So, you know, there's a different relationship.
Not having to justify not having children anymore.
That's right, because I'm too old. And isn't that a lovely thing?
I think with you, I think you've evolved. I think you reinvent yourself all the time. And I think that's the whole thing about getting older. You reinvent all the time, and I think you do it. Look at you. You look younger than you did, you know, 10 years, 15 years ago. You look far younger.
You do. I think so. What about you, Sherrie? Because you said you had that age thing in the tree, and that started you off with having a bit of an obsession about
because
age.
I think age. What do you think? And I'm asking you this
Yeah,
as well. Do you
go on
think that age liberates you in a different way if you have a long life partner or if you don't?
I think if you have a long life partner, I think it is freeing. I think if you're on your own, I think aging. Actually, there's nothing nice about aging, and I defy anybody to say how wonderful it is to get older. It isn't. I think it's debilitating. I think it, you know...
Are you talking about from an aesthetic, from a physical point of view?
Yes, from an aesthetic point of view, I think it's debilitating. And I just think, you know, I think it's a very hard thing for us to do. And men grow older and they get handsome. Look at Robert Redford. Look at Clint Eastwood. And women get older, don't they? We all get older.
Judi Dench and Helen Mirren.
Yes, I know. I'm just talking.
Hey, look at us. Never mind them.
I think it's very hard to grow older, and I think anybody looking in a mirror and you go, who is that person? You know, where's the other one gone? Don't you? I think.
You know what quote I love? I love that. What is it? Youth is wasted on the young.
Yeah.
Because there are just so many things that you wish you knew then that now. I do think it is liberating in lots of ways. Certainly from a career point of view. I mean, I know people say that roles dry up and stuff, but as a very young actress, I was never bothered about playing the title role in something.